And we welcome you to this broadcast of boys varsity basketball on NKTelco Sports. We're at Russia Local Schools where the Jackson Center Tigers will take on the Russia Raiders. Tonight's game is brought to you by the following sponsors: Keyhole Pizza, First National Bank, Precision Strip, Emerson Copeland, Carriage Works, Grand Lake Health, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric Automation, Minster Bank, Pratt Industries, New Knoxville Supply, Wagner's IGA, Wilson Health, Winners Meats, Jewelry Barn, and NKTelco. Good evening and a belated happy Thanksgiving to all our NKTelco viewers. I'm Craig Fissinger with my broadcast partner tonight, Brandon Coverman. It is opening night of the high school boys basketball season, and we've got a dandy for you here in the Shelby County Athletic League. Brandon, before we talk about the home team, let's talk about the visitors from Jackson Center. And as long as Scott Elkert is the head coach of this program, you know the Tigers are going to be ready to play no matter whether it's the beginning of the season or the end.
Yeah, and you know, Elkert's the dean of Shelby County basketball. It's been the way that past few years. You know, you're always going to get tough defensive play. You know, he's always going to get the most out of the players that he can. A lot of returners from a team that went 16-9 last year, finished district runner-ups and lost to Springfield Central Catholic in the district finals. They returned a couple of winners in Lucas Hartle, Nolan Fark, Kellen Reichert, Jace Mullenhauer, Camden Reese, just to name a few. Lost Carson Regula, who was a second-team All-Shelby County selection last year. You know, they do start with a little bit of a health concerns to start the season. Kellen Reichert out, you know. Fish, you and I were on the cross-country course this year. We knew he was a favorite to be Shelby County Runner of the Year, was out in that county meet, did not run at regionals either due to an injury, and he's not going to start the basketball season here tonight. So Tigers start a little bit behind the eight ball. Their depth's going to get tested, but man, you know, when you take a look at the county, you know, who's going to be the best teams this year? A lot of teams are throwing Jackson Center out as the favorite, and I was kind of thinking that same way, but a stat that might surprise you, how Jackson Center's been, how dominant they have been, you know, in the Shelby County and in the area. They have not won the Shelby County League title since 2013. So, you know, while they went to state in 2012 and 2016, they have not won the Shelby County League title since 2013, which might be a surprise. It tells you how tough the Shelby County League is. And what that also tells you is that Coach Elkert's team plays their best ball in February and March every year, and this is a very talented team he's got.
Yes, certainly. This is a very talented team and a senior-heavy team. A lot of senior-heavy teams in the Shelby County Athletic League that we'll talk about as this season goes on. 7 seniors on Coach Scott Elkert's roster, and we'll be talking more about them as the night goes on. Let's transition to the home team, Brandon, from Russia, and a lot of emotion leading into this season. But this is a Raiders program that might have as much returning experience as anyone in the SCAL. I know expectations are high for these Russia coaches, these players, and these fans tonight dressed in blue and gold. Yeah,
and you know, starting the season, you know, with the way it was with the passing of Coach Borchers, you knew he was all a beloved figure not only in Russia but the Shelby County. You know, it's a tough start to the season for the Raiders. Obviously, he was my coach back in high school, known and beloved by many people, not just in Russia, but across the Shelby County League. But, you know, all this emotion Raiders do have to put behind and do have to go out and play a ball game. And there's a lot of talent returning from that roster that lost in the district semifinals last year. You got players like Zane Shappy, who was an all-county selection, Braden Mon and Hayden Quinter, some guys who had some valuable playing time as underclassmen last year. Then you add, players that got playing time last year, like Ross Fissinger. Braylon Cardona was brought up mid-season. There's a lot of talent. Xavier Flippo as well. There's a lot of talent on this Raiders squad and a team that has not won a Shelby County League title since 2018. A team that can certainly do it this year. Spencer Cardona steps into that familiar role being varsity head coach. Brad Francis going to slide in as assistant this year. This is a Raider team that's got a lot of talent, a lot of potential, with a mixture of veteran and veteran talent and younger talent as well. It's a team that won a state baseball championship back in the spring. A lot of those guys played on that team, so they've had that winning success under their belt. We'll see if it translates to the basketball court.
Well, earlier tonight in the junior varsity game, Russia topped Jackson Center by the final score of 44-33. Benjamin York led all scorers for the Raiders with 17 points. And then prior to that, we had a freshman game in which Jackson Center won, so I guess this will be the rubber game. And we're just a couple minutes from tip-off in this varsity contest. Brandon and I are going to take a short break as we both teams getting set to meet at center court for a special moment of prayer. Then we're going to have the national anthem, and we'll come back with your starting lineups and your keys to the game. Jackson Center versus Russia is next on NKTelco Sports.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
At Wilson Health, we're extending care beyond the walls of the hospital, with resources designed to keep you in charge of your health.
Our independence and connection to the community are unique in a world where big healthcare strives to act like corporations.
Our tools may be the same, but we are different.
We're neighbors, friends, and family who truly care about the people who live here.
We call it caring without limits, and it's just the beginning of a whole new Wilson Health.
And the starting lineups again are sponsored by Emerson Copeland. In case you missed them, for the Jackson Center Tigers, they are Nolan Fark, Jace Mullenauer, Grant Elkert, Bryson Roberts, and Camden Reese. For the Russia Raiders, Zane Shappy, Hayden Quinter, Braden Monin, Braylon Cordonier, and Xavier Filippo. Also want to remind our viewers that the keys to the game that Brandon just gave were sponsored by Keyhole Pizza. And tonight's scoreboard is sponsored by First National Bank. All timeouts are courtesy of Precision Strip. And our Russia live viewer sponsor that you see there on your screen is Jewelry Barn. Both teams out there shaking hands, getting ready to tip off. Brandon, the crowds are fired up here today.
Yeah, and this is the best game in the area. We were talking off air about all the schools that are not from Russia or Jackson Center that are here tonight watching the game, because a lot are still in football or not playing tonight. So, this is a great game. This is such a treat. And buckle up. Should be a fun 32 minutes of basketball.
Yeah, that jump ball at center court between Camden Reese and Hayden Quinter won by the Jackson Center Tigers, and Jackson has possession, and that ball goes out of bounds. So Russia, the length of the court to go at the 7:49 mark, and bringing the ball down the floor is a familiar face, and Zane Shappy, been doing it for 4 years now.
Yeah, and he's been there through everything. He's trying to get his Raiders to a league title this year.
Jackson Center back in a familiar man-to-man defense as Flippo drives, takes a shot from the foul line. That's off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound, Grant Elkert. He quickly brings it down the floor for the Tigers. Elkert over to Reese. Reese trying to get it down low to Mullenauer. Nice defense there by Shappy. He knocks it away.
2 possessions, 2 turnovers for the Tigers. Not an ideal start for them offensively.
Seen 4 Russia scrimmages this year, and this is a team that's going to move the ball quickly, try to score quickly. They want to run and shoot. And shoot they do as Zane Shappy lets a 3 go. That's no good, but long rebound goes to Braden Monin. Monin now with it being guarded by Fark. Gets it over to Quinter. Quinter almost loses control, but gets it in the corner to Shappy. He's going to drive baseline off the glass, and that's no good, but he's going to get fouled and head to the line for 2.
Misses that 3. Might have got away with a walk there, but like you said, Zane Shappy, his 4th year, he got thrust in that role as a freshman, and he's played really well. Has been a great player over the years for this Raiders squad, and they're going to need his senior leadership this year. 4 seniors on the squad, he'll be one to lead them.
Zane was actually number 4 on the team last year in free throw percentage at 78%, 38 for 49 on the year. He makes his first one of the season, and he averaged 8 points per game last year in that point guard role. 5'10 senior has one more to go. As Russia on the board with their first point, and it'll be a 1-0 lead as Jackson now with the ball. 6:46 to play here in this first quarter. Nolan Fark with the ball. That senior gets it in the corner to senior Grant Elkert. He's being guarded by the junior and Quinter. Elkert's going to drive baseline, stop. Nice help defense there by Braylon Cardonier. He shut off that lane. Jackson Center with another turnover, and as Monin tries to get that loose ball, he's going to be pushed by Camden Reese. So the second foul on the Tigers. At 6.5 minutes to go in the first.
Looks like they're going to run this offense through Camden Reese. He dominates that baseline. He does a lot of movement. He's a very versatile threat on the inside. But like I said, this is what the Tiger depth is going to get tested to without Kellen Reichert early on in the year.
On a block with it. A fadeaway shot there by Cordonier. It's going to roll off the rim. No good. Rebound by Mullenauer. Gets it over to Roberts. Down on the baseline to Grant Elkert. Again, 7 seniors on this roster for Coach Scott Elkert, 3 juniors and 3 sophomores. Reese drives baseline, quickly passing it around the perimeter. Fark with it now on top. Fark trying to get around Quinter, and he does, gets a shot, and Quinter's going to block that one out of bounds. Nice block there by the junior.
And that's the first shot attempt that the Tigers get off in 2 minutes. So it's been three trips down, 3 turnovers for the Tigers. Try to get a set here to someone and get the basketball here, and this is a good set right here to Reese, and that's exactly what you want to do. He's strong, he's physical on the inside. He controls that block very well.
Camden Reese going up against Xavier Flippo. Xavier Flippo been playing varsity his entire high school career. His very first game, he was actually guarding Aiden Reichert for Jackson Center.
Yeah, and it shows too the long way. Russia those years maybe didn't have the best records, as some other teams, but they've learned a lot from them. Took some beatings when they were freshmen and sophomores, and have learned from that as the Tigers take the lead.
Camden Reese 2 for 2 from the free throw line. And for those of you that don't remember Aiden Reichert, a 2-time Shelby County Athletic League Player of the Year, a star at Jackson Center.
Playing at Mercyhurst now in Pennsylvania.
Yes, he is.
And with another Jackson Center legend, Andy Hoing, played over there as well.
So Russia trailing 2-1 now with the ball. Braden Monin with it, working against Grant Elkert. Elkert knocks that ball out of Monin's hands. Russia fortunate to get it back. Shappy with it, looking down low for Quinter, finds him on the block. His shot is blocked by Bryson Roberts. Nice block there by the senior Roberts. Jackson with the ball, and Mullenauer's got a lane to the bucket, and he gets the layup. Jackson Center now with a 4-1 lead.
Nice move by Mullenauer on the inside. Catches the Raider defense napping. Zips to the basket for a deuce, and there's a foul on Roberts. Raiders, one thing you're trying to do is they do have that size advantage on the inside. So if they try to go away from Reese, I think that's what you're seeing the Raiders try to emphasize there, is getting a ball to players like Hayden Quinter. But that was a great defensive possession there by Jackson Center, there to hold off the Raiders.
Russia does have a little more size on that bench. We'll see her shortly. 6'5" Felix Francis, a junior that is got a lot of playing time in the preseason. But right now, Russia, their biggest player out there would be Hayden Quinter at 6'1". I'll take that back. Braden Monin listed at 6'2". Russia now with the ball, and Shappy thought Quinter was going to cut along the baseline when he didn't, so Shappy throws it out of bounds. Raider turnover.
They're just going to apply that full court pressure now.
Almost to the 5-minute mark here in the first quarter. Russia with a little press. They're going to back off now as Fark's working it against Monin up the court, gets it across the half court. Russia with a trap. Mullenauer with it. Corner. Elkert's going to take a 3. That's off the side of the backboard. Not a good shot there by the senior. Russia with the ball, trailing by 3. Going to try to tie it up on a Shappy 3. That's an air ball. So both teams with bad 3-point attempts, but Russia's going to maintain control. And that ball was last touched by Jackson.
What a Herculean effort there by Zane Shappy to go get that. Raiders have not ran really a great offensive set here. Like I said, that Tiger defense is always stingy, and that's proving no different here tonight.
Flippo gets it in bounds. Quinter with it now in the lane, working against Fark, puts it up, and no call on that one. Fark all ball, and as he's clapping his hands, Quinter perhaps thought he was fouled, looking at the official for a little help.
Yeah, I thought Fark, it looked straight up, but looked like there's some little contact on the hands. Might have been a missed call there, but the Raiders going to reapply full court pressure there.
Reese now with it. Camden Reese at 6'3", bringing the ball up the floor for the Tigers. That's going to be stolen by Flippo. Flippo with the left-handed layup, going to bounce around and fall in. So Russia, with their first field goal of the game, courtesy of Xavier Flippo. They now trail by 1, 4-3.
And that's the thing they lack with Reichert. They're bringing different guys to bring the ball up. I'm seeing Nolan Fark probably control more of the point now.
Fark with it to Elkert. Double team by a couple Raiders. Baseline shot by Mullenauer off the rim. No good. Monin had position on Fark, but Fark's going to commit the foul. That will be number 4 for the Jackson Center Tigers.
Being very aggressive here early. Like I said, that depth getting tested. You're going to see some guys come off the bench here. Number 32, Reed Flatfoot, and also the other one in the lineup there is number 13, Lucas Heitkamp. So some different guys getting some valuable playing time here early on. Like I said, the depth's going to be tested.
Well, a couple sophomores for the Tigers there in Heitkamp and Flatfoot as both Elkert and Roberts go to the bench. Ruschi with the ball, trailing by 1, 3:56 to go here in the first. Quinter's trying to drive on Fark. Nice job on the defense. He's going to get called for the travel. So Nolan Fark, nice defense for the Tigers.
What I really like watching here is we're just trying to get that ball to Braylon Cordonier, but Camden Reese is like a brick wall. Hard to move on defense. You're not going to get much past this guy. Just very impressive. Always watching him over the years is Camden Reese as he brings the ball up here.
A typical Scott Elkert team.
Screen.
Yeah, we get a legal screen from the Tigers.
5 turnovers. Nolan Fark was not set there when he committed that screen. He left before the screen even finished. That's why it's an illegal screen. He left too early trying to roll off that screen to the basket.
Another substitution for the Tigers now as Lucas Hartle, a 5'11 junior, number 3, comes into the game. Nolan Fark on the bench. And Ruschi's first substitution will be number 22, Vince Borchers, a 6'1 sophomore. He will replace Zane Shappy. We'll see this a lot as Shappy gets the rest at the point guard position. Borchers will come in for him.
Trying to eat up those minutes and get Zane a little breather. Vince controlled the point guard for a very good JV squad last year for Ruschi.
Did appear in 4 varsity games. Just 1 rebound was the only stat that he picked up at the end of those games. So Ruschi now with the ball. Quinter almost turns it over, does get control, finds Flippo on the back door, and Flippo goes up for another left-handed layup. Xavier Flippo with 2 field goals. Ruschi now with a 5-4 lead.
I think you just go away from where Reese is where the Raiders are looking for that matchup. You go away from them. They're having a tough time when they go to Reese's side, and the Tigers struggling ball handling here.
And a crazy shot up by Mullenauer, but he's going to get fouled on his way to the basket. And Ruschi playing some good defense as well, did commit the foul.
And that's something too. You get bailed out there with the foul. A little crazy there in that three-quarter court because the Raiders are bringing pressure, but you get bailed out with a foul there. Jace Mullenauer has been one of those guys that's played varsity for a couple years. Very talented player, an all Shelby County selection last year.
That foul's going to go on Hayden Quinter, so the Raiders now with 2 fouls, 1 on Quinter and 1 on Flippo as Mullenauer makes the first free throw. Mullenauer with 3 of the 5 Jackson Center points so far. And make that 4 of the 6 points. So Tigers with 1 field goal and 4 free throws to tally up them 6 points. They now lead here by 1, 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Quinter looking down low, finds an open Vince Borchers, and Vince Borchers just into this game, and he gets his first varsity points.
Great back screen there by the Raiders to get Borchers loose. He read Reese coming, gave him a nice shot fake to the basket.
And Reese is going to take it all the way to hold that ball. Rolls around the rim, no good. Stick back is no good. Rebound by Vince Borchers. Up the floor, gets to Monin. Monin's going to drive the back. Nice move off the glass, no good. Rebound Reese. Vince Borchers playing very well coming in here.
Yeah.
First substitution for Ruschi.
Providing those intensity minutes for the Raiders.
Lucas Heitkamp with the ball. Sophomore being guarded by the sophomore and Braylon Cordonier. Down on the block with it is Flatfoot. He makes a move. Driving baseline with Mullenauer. He puts it up. That shot's no good. Rebound Hayden Quinter. Ruschi with the ball and the 1-point lead. Borchers to Quinter. Quinter's going to take a 3. That ball rattles out. No good. Rebound Reese.
Not a very good shooting quarter for both these teams. Both shooting really under 30% here this first quarter. Like I said, it's opening night.
Mullenauer almost steps on the baseline, but defense by Borchers creates a Jackson Center turnover, and you got to be impressed with the play of Vince Borchers so far.
Scrappy, and the Raiders defense altogether has forced 6 turnovers, but fortunate for Jackson Center, you're only down a point. Both these offenses, it's the first game of the year. You're trying to figure things out and trying to feel things out, just like in any other sport. And it's a tough ask against 2 talented teams.
Minute and a half to go here in the first. Ruschi with the ball, playing that 4 out. Got 1 guy on the block and Braylon Cordonier. The rest of the Raiders spread around the perimeter. As Flippo drives, kicks it back out to Borchers, on top to Monin. Monin thinks about a three, driving against Hartle. Picks up his dribble, gets it to Quinter. Quinter looking down low for Cordonier. He's working hard against Reese. Does get the ball in that block. Going to make a move. Nice little hook shot there. Gets at the roll in, so Braylon Cordonier puts the Raiders up 9-6 with under a minute to play.
And that's great defense still by Reese there. It was just an even better move by Cordonier on the inside.
Braylon Cordonier, one of the bright young stars in the SCAL. You'll be hearing a lot about him this season. We got a whistle, and what was that, Brandon?
I think Braylon Cordonier got locked up down there. He locked horns there, trying to get position on the inside with Reed Plattfoot, and he'll be called for the foul away from the ball as we have a few substitutions.
Substitutions as Shappy will come back into the game. Quinter goes to the bench. Braylon Cordonier also the bench. And entering the game will be Colby Monin, a 6'3 senior. Also in is Felix Francis. Felix Francis, that 6'5 junior. Jackson with the ball, 40 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Russia with a 9-6 lead. Plattfoot with it, being guarded by Francis. Drives baseline and loses his dribble and goes out of bounds. So Reed Plattfoot trying to go around Felix Francis, just lost his dribble. Another Jackson Center turnover.
And so like I said, they have 7 turnovers this quarter. Have struggled to really take care of that basketball. And that's been big here early on for Jackson Center. But like I said, they only find themselves down 3 with 7 turnovers right now.
Russia now with the ball, 24 seconds to play in this first quarter. Francis with it on top, trying to drive around Reese. Picks it up, looking for a Raider. Finally finds one in Shappy. Shappy working against Roberts, drives the lane, tries to kick it out, does get it out to Monin. Down low now, Colby Monin with it on the baseline. Makes a nice move off the glass, no good. And with 4 seconds, Jackson with the ball, heaving it at the horn. That's off the top, the backboard, and no good. After 1 quarter of play, Russia leads Jackson Center 9-6. We'll take a short break. You're listening to high school basketball here on NKTelco Sports.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We are certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
Kemmler Orthopedic Center is focused on a personalized, caring approach to treat all aspects of orthopedics, including total joint replacement, shoulder reconstruction, stem cell injections, and more. Dr. James Kemmler and Jed Cooney, certified PA, are dedicated to providing the best orthopedic care in the Grand Lake region. Kemmler Orthopedic Center has offices located in Salina and Van Wert, along with extended evening hours. To schedule an appointment, call our office at 419-586-5760.
I would like to remind our viewers to stick around until the end of the game tonight when Brandon and I will name our NKTelco player of the game. We'll have the final stats on our wrap-up before I'll let Brandon decide who the top performer of the night is. And Brandon, after 1 quarter play, it is 9-6. And the Jackson Center Tigers just 1 field goal.
Yeah, and honestly, they take a look, and they only shot 7 times that first half. And, 7 turnovers was the big thing there. Like I said, they didn't have Kellen Reichert. It's one thing they're trying to figure out is a true guy to bring that ball up the floor, which can be a test. When you struggle with bringing the ball up the floor, you can't really set up your offense. It's a little more discombobulated, and that's something Jackson struggled with, I think, early here, but they're fortunate to only be down 9-6 in a classic Jackson Center way. It's a low-scoring ball game, and they're still within striking distance early on, so figuring out some wrinkles, and they're gonna make up for some of the errors they made in the first quarter.
Just 1 field goal for Jackson Center, 4 for the Raiders. 4 points by Xavier Flippo, 2 by Braylon Cordonier, 2 by Vince Borchers, and a free throw by Zane Shappy. Tallies that 9 points for the Raiders. Russia gets the ball here to start the second quarter. And Xavier Flippo on top to senior Zane Shappy to Vince Borchers, who came in off the bench and had a nice first quarter. He's going to get fouled away from the ball. Jackson Center now with their 6th team foul.
Yeah, hand check there on Roberts. It's a 6th team foul, like you said. And now Nolan Fark going to come back in the game.
Fark will come in for Bryson Roberts, who heads to the bench.
Bryson Roberts last year was really that energy guy kind of off the bench. Always provided those jolts of 2-3 minutes of high energy for Scott Elkert's team.
So Francis gets the ball down low to Flippo. Flippo trying to get the shot up off the glass, and we're going to get another Jackson Center foul.
And call it foul, or did they call it out of bounds? I think they called it out of bounds because it would be 1-1 if it was a foul.
Correct. You're right. Out of bounds. So another under the basket inbounds from the Raiders. Flippo gets it on top now to Cordonier. Cordonier over to Flippo. Flippo looking down low for Francis, who's working against Robertson. Francis not exactly ready for that ball, working actually against Grant Elkert. And Francis loses control and a Raider turnover.
And that's the issue for the Raiders. They were way too converged on that left side that even if they got that ball down to Francis, he would have been double-teamed fairly quickly. So I think the Raiders got to do a better job spacing out on that set right there.
Jackson Center with the ball, trailing by 3 here in this second quarter. On opening night of the SCAL schedule and the high school season. Lots of fans in attendance, just ready for basketball. Fark takes a jumper, that's no good. Rebound by Felix Francis. Felix Francis with a long wingspan, able to reach out and grab that rebound. Flippo down low with it, working on the block. He's going to turn around, take a jumper, and Xavier Flippo having a good first half. He now has 6. Raiders lead 11-6.
Gave him a little cushion there to Camden Reese, expecting him to come inside, but a nice job by Flippo to recognize that and take the jump shot.
Raider fans thought Fark traveled, and up off the glass is Lucas Hartle, who gets the second Jackson Center field goal of this half.
Much needed, too.
Score 11-8, Russia. And Xavier Flippo just showing his experience playing 4 years of varsity. Could have took it to on the block, and we're going to get an over and back call on Russia, but instead Xavier, rather than making contact, just steps back and takes the jumper.
Yeah, and that's that experience you talked about. Maybe as a freshman or sophomore, you go in there, but you see that cushion, you can hit that little 10-foot jumper right there. As we see Raiders substitution, Braden Monin back in the lineup.
Also for Jackson Center, Jace Mullenauer back in the game after a rest. And Jackson Center set to inbound it in front of the scorers table, in front of Coach Mick Leffel, Cody Anthony, and Brad Francis all on that bench with Coach Cordonier. A little bit of contact there, and Hartle's going to take a long three. It's off the rim, and nice kick there by Reed Plattfoot, who smacked that ball back to another Tiger. Trying to get it down low. Fark working against Mon and kicks it on top to Plattfoot. Rotating around the perimeter are the Tigers. They trail by 3, and a turnover by the Tigers as Vince Borch is now going to drive, and Nolan Fark will knock that ball out of Borcher's hands and out of bounds. Raider ball.
Great defense in transition by Fark there. Borcher's just brought that ball way too low. You got to keep that ball chest high or above and go up to the basket right there.
So Flippo once again inbounding underneath his own basket. Cordonier's going to work on the paint with it. He throws a shot up, a fadeaway that bounces around. No good. Jackson Center now with the ball. Plattfoot gets it out to Hartle, and a 3 by Fark, and Nolan Fark hits a 3, and that is going to tie up this ball game at 11.
Nolan Fark gets the first 3-pointer for the Jackson Center Tigers, and they got the momentum now. And I believe we have, well, we're going to talk about this now, maybe talk to Fark after the play. But Raiders now with 3 turnovers in this quarter after only having 1, and Coach Spencer Cordonier wants a timeout.
We'll take a precision strip timeout with them. Tied up at 11-11 here, Jackson Center and Russia.
We are here and here and here. Minster Bank is everywhere, providing every banking service that you need to keep your financial life in order. Whether you are on the go or stopping by one of our branches, Minster Bank is here for you. We proudly support the communities where you live. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Unpack your potential with a career at Pratt Industries. Working at Pratt Industries is more than a job. It's a sustainable career.
Pratt Industries to me is a job. It's my career. It's the way I put food on my table, but I love what I do.
We offer competitive pay, excellent benefits, and opportunities for career advancement. To apply, visit careers.prattindustries.com.
NKTelco Sports and its sponsors are pleased to bring you replays of tonight's high school varsity basketball action on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503. Replays of this game will be Saturday, December 3rd at 4 p.m. and Monday, December 5th at 7 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports. So I got to ask you, Brandon, happy Thanksgiving to you, and what was your favorite part of Thanksgiving yesterday?
Oh, man, my favorite part of Thanksgiving was easily the food and just the family time, too. Sister comes up from Cincinnati, and, just get to spend quality time with the family. That's the biggest thing that, when you start to get older, and I'm only 23, but you start to appreciate that stuff a little more. You also appreciate watching the football all day. You and I are both big sports guys, so we appreciate watching some good football all day, both college and NFL all day. So that, I think, was the best part. What was the best part about yours?
I'm with you on that. The food and the family, it's interchangeable there. They're both great.
Yes.
So we came out of that precision strip timeout, and up on our First National Bank scoreboard, it's 11-11 with 5 minutes to go here in this first half. A good game between these two Shelby County Athletic League teams, expected to be two of the better teams in the league.
Yeah, absolutely, and an always highly competitive Shelby County League. This is some cold shooting on both sides tonight.
Well, Fark hit a three before that timeout, misses that one. Rushi now with the ball, trying to get the lead. Cordonier in the paint, gets stopped by that brick wall and Reese, and a three attempt by Quinter is no good. Nice rebound there by the Tigers.
Yeah, great defensive possession, very aggressive there, and they're controlling the boards here tonight. 12-6 favor here in favor of Jackson Center.
Camden Reese now with the ball, working against Flippo. Two seniors going at it. Cordonier's going to pick up Reese now. Gets it on top to Elker, and it's almost a steal by Quinter. As Elker does regain control of it, he's going to have to work against Quinter and gets it back across the half court. Quinter knocks it out of his hands again. Xavier Quinter, just a menace on defense.
And I know a coach from up above is smiling down on that, because Dave Borchers would always preach that in practice when I played for him in high school, to get that tip from behind. So I know he's smiling down on that play right there.
And I might have called him Xavier Quinter, and actually Hayden's brother Xavier playing on the junior varsity game a little earlier, and the freshman games. Hayden's got a younger brother that's pretty talented as well. Ball knocked out of bounds. That's going to go to the Jackson Center Tigers. Substitutions for the Tigers as Lucas Heitkamp, a 6'1 sophomore, into the game. And Rushi going to send Vince Borchers to the bench, and like checking in for the first time for the Raiders will be number 4, Ross Fissinger, a 5'11 senior. Ross, a lot of playing time last year, averaged about 5 points a game. Did appear in all 25 games for the Raiders. Had a season high of 15 in one particular game. But Jackson Center with the ball, 3.5 minutes to go here in this first half. And working the ball up the floor is Camden Reese against Xavier Flippo. Reese is going to drive all the way to the basket, and that one's too hard off the glass. So Reese took that one all to himself and came up empty.
Oh, and that was a wide open play. It's just, like I said, it's been an ice cold shooting night for both these teams in this first half. It doesn't get much better than that for Camden Reese. It was wide open play, just missed it.
Quinter with the ball, trying to find Flippo on that block. He's going to decide to go in the paint himself, makes a couple moves, dishes it out to Fissinger, over to Shappy. Shappy driving in the paint himself, up against Mullenauer, kicks it out to Cordonier. Cordonier's going to turn around, put a jumper up. That one's going to rattle out. Braylon Cordonier not getting a couple of them shots, not able to get them to go down. Working on the block with his Heitkamp. Gets it over to Mullenauer. Shots off the rim and no good. Nice rebound by Braylon Cordonier.
Yeah.
A three attempt this time for Quinter. He's going to get this one to go. So Hayden Quinter finally knocks one down. He was held scoreless in that first quarter. Took a couple threes. Bangs that one in.
And what the Raiders do is they're 1 of 5 now from three. It's only 20%, but I'm sure that's a real relief to hopefully stretch the floor now for the Raiders, showing you can hit from the outside.
Rushi with a 3-point lead, 14-11. Jackson Center trying to tie this one up. Almost losing his dribble there is Heitkamp. Finally picks it up, gets it to Fark. 2 minutes to go here in this first half. Heitkamp with it now, working against Fissinger. Trying to drive, picked up by Flippo off the glass, and Heitkamp's going to get the bucket to get within one.
And every time the Raiders have scored a bucket, it seems like the Tigers have seemingly come down and answered. Nice move there by Heitkamp on the inside. First bench points of the night for the Tigers.
Fissinger with it, looking for a teammate, finally finds Cordonier. Cordonier driving against Reese, and you're right, Camden Reese, just a hard guy to get around. A Raider turnover. They're going to keep the ball here.
Nice defense again. That Raider movement when they're cutting, they're too close together. The Tigers are cutting off those lanes very well on defense, and the Raiders are struggling with their spacing on offense, and that's the 5th Raider turnover of the quarter.
A couple substitutions for Russia as Felix Francis and Colby Mana now back in the game. Russia rotating 9 guys in their lineup. And with a minute and a half to go, Jackson Center trailing by 1. Camden Reese with the ball working against Monin. Cross-court pass over to Hartle. On top to Mullenauer. Back to Hartle. In the corner. Lucas Heitkamp with the ball. Gets it on top to Fark. Jackson Center trying to take this lead into the locker room.
Trying to get it to Reese on the inside. Trying to bring out Colby Monin out to the wing to make him defend him.
Being very patient with the ball, and Reese is going to lose that dribble against the defense of Colby Monin, as assistant coach Brad Francis wants to talk to him quickly. And quick substitution for the Tigers as Grant Elkert now back into the game for Nolan Fark.
Like the idea for the Tigers. Try to bring Monin out to defend the wing. He's, just coming off the bench, and you have him guarding the best player. I like the idea for the Tigers to go with the matchup. Just dribble the ball off his foot.
Shappy with the ball now dribbling out front. Russia not quite as aggressive with a minute to play. Wondering if they're going to take this last shot or just look for a good shot. As Francis loses his dribble, Reese now with it. Reese going to the hole is going to go up against Monin. Going to get whistled for the offensive foul. So Braden Monin, one of the better defenders in the Shelby County League, takes that charge.
And that's an 11th turnover for the Tigers, and not easy there, but Monin scraps and hits the floor. And if you're the Raiders, you got to get something this offensive possession. The Tigers are not going to come out, and the Raiders both are not going to come out and shoot this goal the second half. So someone needs to seize momentum here before the halftime break. If I'm the Raiders here, I would hold for the last shot. We'll see if they do that, with little time left. It's been an offensive struggle this first half.
Maybe a little offense-defense for the Raiders and Tigers as Russia brings Braylon Cordonier back in and Reed Platfoot back in for the Tigers. 20 seconds to go. Quinter with it's going to take the 10-foot jumper. That's going to rattle around and go down. So Hayden Quinter gets the bucket. He now has 5 in the quarter, 5 for the game. And Russia with a 3-point lead, 10 seconds to go. Mullenauer with the ball, driving in the lane, trying to find Elker. He's going to take the shot himself, and another block by Hayden Quinter.
Yeah, and just right place, right time as he came down the floor. But I like Hayden Quinter's matchup there. I maybe said hold for the last shot, but he got a favorable matchup. They were guarding him tightly. He got a one-on-one and hit a nice jump shot there.
Nolan Fark trying to check in. The official will not let him check in. 4.3 to go, and Hartle will inbound underneath the basket. Now they'll let him come in. Elkert's going to head to the bench. Nolan Fark in. So a set play underneath the basket for Jackson with 4.3 to go. They trail by 3. Hartle gets it on top to Fark, and nice tip there by Quinter. He's going to get a layup at the horn, and he does. Hayden Quinter with a layup. 7 points in the quarter for him. Russia the 18-13 lead.
And that's a great play. I said hold it for the halftime break, but the Raiders get that momentum that I said that one team needed to grasp before halftime. 18-13 going in the break.
All right, Brandon and I will take a short break. We'll come back with your halftime numbers. You're listening to high school basketball here on NKTelco Sports.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Lincoln Electric Automation in Coldwater and Fort Loramie supplies top-of-the-line automation systems to manufacturers. Lincoln Electric Automation routinely develops its team through hiring and by offering advanced technical training. We understand that every employee matters, and every role contributes to the success of our business. We offer advancement opportunities, competitive wages, and benefit packages. Visit LincolnElectric.com and get on track to a better career and a better future.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
Whether you do business from a corner store or a corner office, there is one asset your business cannot do without: the Internet. Everything from sales and marketing, training and shipping, PR, HR, and R&D, your business relies on a fast, reliable, and secure connection. And now, it's more important than ever to partner with an Internet provider you can trust. Get flight fiber for business backed by local tech support from NKTelco. Call today.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
It's halftime here at the Claire C. Naveau Gymnasium on this opening night of the high school boys basketball season, where Russia leads Jackson Center at halftime by the score of 18-13. A little earlier tonight in the junior varsity contest, it was Russia topping Jackson Center 44-33, and then we had a freshman game prior to that, which Jackson Center won that one. I'd like to recognize some of tonight's sponsors, and they are Keyhole Pizza, First National Bank, Precision Strip, Emerson Copeland, Carriage Works, Grand Lake Health, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric Automation, Minster Bank, Pratt Industries, New Knoxville Supply, Wagner's IGA, Wilson Health, Winners Meats, Jewelry Barn, and NKTelco. Additional sponsors include Burke Petroleum, Chiltex LLC, Cy Sweeterman Inc., Dickman Supply, Hometown Opportunity, Hulsman Automotive, Park National Bank, SecureCom, and St. Henry Bank. My name is Craig Fissinger, and I'm with my broadcast partner, Brandon Coverman. And Brandon, a very good first half. Shooting maybe not so great, but very competitive.
Yeah, and that's what we said. This is the premier matchup in the area tonight. We know a lot of teams are delayed with football and stuff, but this is the premier matchup in really the Shelby County MAC area. And it's lived up to the billing. You know, these Russia Jackson Center games are not these 60, 70, 80-point shootouts. You know, they're in the low 30s, 40s. And really that's how it's been that first half. You take a look stat-wise for both sides. Taking a first look for Jackson Center, they shot 25%, 4 of 16 from the field, 1 of 5 from beyond the arc, 13 rebounds and 11 turnovers, but they were a perfect 4 of 4 from the charity stripe. On the flip side for the Raiders, they shot 40%, 8 of 20, 1 of 5 from the three-point line, 8 rebounds, 7 turnovers, 1 of 2 from the charity stripe. Taking a look at some individual scoring, 2 points from Lucas Hartle, 3 from Nolan Fark, 4 from Jason Mullenhauer, 2 from Lucas Heitkamp, and 2 from Camden Maurice. On the flip side for the Raiders, they were led in scoring by Hayden Quinter that half with 7, 6 from Xavier Flippo, 2 from Braylon Cardonier, 2 from Vince Borchers, and 1 from Zane Chappie.
Yeah, it was a for quarter scores. Russia led 9-6 after that first quarter, and they won that second quarter 9-7. Again, our halftime score 18-13, and a very a game tonight that we expected to be competitive. We think this one's going to go down to the end, so you're going to want to stick around for that. Brandon and I, at the end of the game, we will have our NKTelco player of the game. And as far as around the county and the Shelby County Athletic League, originally Fort Laramie supposed to play Anna. That game getting postponed. I believe that was to sometime maybe in January is when that one's got backed up to. So Laramie instead will open next Saturday over at New Knoxville, seeing their coaches and players here tonight. And then the Botkins Trojans off they start open up next week. Just one other game. Houston Fairlawn playing tonight.
Yeah, and, new era over there at Houston. Caleb Fletterjohn taking over. We've seen this very active on social media, trying to really get up this Houston program that's been down the past few years. They'll visit the Claire C in 2 weeks, so now we'll be on the call for that game, and, we'll see what the new look Wildcats look like over there. And so, kind of a quiet night, but again, it looks like a competitive Shelby County League. Like we said, like I was saying, with all the success Jackson Center has had, it surprises a lot of people. They have not won a league title since 2013, but that just shows you the competitiveness of the Shelby County League. We know Russia had a run where they won 4 in a row. Anna had a run where they won 3 in a row. Laramie was a tri-champ in one of those years, and Botkins Trojans have won it back-to-back years. But it looks like kind of the top 3 kind of has been shaping up to be a Jackson Center, probably the favorite. Especially when they get Kellen Reichert back too. You have to play that into factor too. And Russia probably the second highest odd favorite, and then Laramie not too far behind them. With other teams like Botkins and Anna kind of lurking right behind as well. So it should be a very competitive Shelby County League this year. Nothing that we're not used to seeing, at least here in the past few years.
Well, about a minute to go until second half play is underway. Do want to quickly recognize our cheerleaders for the Russia Raiders. They are Jillian Chapman, Abby Fisher, McKenna Hoyne, Gracie McLennan, Annalise Magato, Anna Meyer, Grace Monin, Mackenzie Rose, Emma Dayport, Alexandria Garkey, Ella Flippo, Camille Saunders, Abby Sherman, Savannah Spradlin, and their cheer advisor is Brandy Flippo. For the Jackson Center Tigers, they are Carly Ross, Haley Shields, Sarah Swiger, Dee Lichtenberg, Marin Ludwig, Avery Jackson, Audrey Bird, Gracie Swaney, Gentry Bargy, and Gracie Cotterman, and their cheer advisor is Caitlin Reese.
You know, and I want to say a couple of those girls played basketball here the other night, and Avery Jackson said that name, and not a lot of people get the Sydney paper anymore, but I saw Avery Jackson's name the night after I called a game. She slayed a big buck that was in the Sydney Daily News. Congratulations to her. She got it during the youth hunt last weekend. Pretty cool stuff over there. It looks like a definite wall hanger in there over in the Jackson household. Pretty neat stuff.
Avery, a busy girl. Busy girl. So Jackson Center takes control here in this start of this second half. They trail by 5 points, and they quickly throw it out of bounds. Brandon, that was their problem in the first half.
Yeah, they had 7 turnovers in the first quarter, had only 4 in that second. So, you know, something they've got to do better at with Riker out is handling that basketball. You know, and they'll learn as the season goes on. It's game 1.
Rushi with the ball, the same starting lineup as what we had at the beginning of this game as Quinter shots off the iron, no good. We have Quinter out there with Zane Shappy, Braden Monin, Braylon Cordonier, and Xavier Flippo. And for the Tigers, you've got Nolan Fark, Jace Mullenauer, Grant Elkert, Bryson Roberts, and Camden Reese. Fark with the ball now being guarded by Quinter. Gets it down low to Grant Elkert on the block, going up against Monin, kicks it out to Roberts in the corner to Mullenauer. He's going to take a 3 off the back of the iron, no good, but nice rebound by Camden Reese. Fark's going to take a 3. That one's off the iron, no good, but nice stick back by Jace Mullenauer, who was forgotten all about by the Raiders.
And that's just sticking with it if you're the Tigers. Aggressive rebounding there to get it in for, you said that was Jace Mullenauer with the bucket?
Mullenauer with that stick back, correct. And we're going to get a foul on the Tigers.
That's something, too. You know, Tigers have more fouls. As we said, with that tested depth, you got to watch out a little bit here. You know, it's tough. You want to play aggressive, but you got to watch it, too.
That's the second foul on Bryson Roberts. Only player in foul trouble for the Tigers is Camden Reese with 3. The ball knocked out by the Tigers, and they now have the ball as Fark with it gets into the lane and runs right into Braylon Cordonier, who's going to get whistled for the block. Cordonier thought he had position.
No, and a good call there, I believe. You know, as Fark goes to the line, right call there by the officials. I've seen this officiating crew many a times. They're one of the tops in the area. They do a very good job. That was a good call there by them.
So Fark from the line, his first shot is up and good. Nolan Fark, who had just that 3-pointer in the first half, now gets a point from the charity stripe.
And like I said, they're 5 of 5 from the line as a team. Make it 6 of 6 now.
So Jackson Center trailing by just 1. Our halftime score was 18-13 Rushi. Rushi still yet to score in this second half. 6:38 to play in the third quarter. Braden Monin with it for the Raiders, being guarded by Grant Elkert. Gets it on top to Shappy. Shappy trying to get around Mullenauer. Very good defense by the Tigers. And almost dragging the pivot foot is Monin, but manages to stay upright. Shappy in the lane now. He picks up his dribble. Kicks it out to Flippo. Flippo going to try to drive. And as we said all night, Camden Reese just doing a nice job on defense.
Yeah, just a brick wall, like I said.
And a nice move there by the sophomore Braylon Cordonier. He caught that pass, ball faked out in the corner, turned around and got the jumper.
And he wasn't matched up with Reese there for the first time tonight, and that's why the Raiders went to him there.
Rushi trying to trap. Roberts gets it from the corner, and Bryson Roberts is going to bury a 3. His first field goal of the game. This game is all tied up at 20 apiece.
Tigers heating up on the offensive end. A very good job there. We're not up at 20.
Quinter now with it. Both these teams sticking to a man defense all night, something you'd expect from Coach Scott Elkert and Spencer Cordonier. trying to get it down low was Flippo to Cardonier. Cardonier lost his footing and couldn't get that ball as Raiders commit a turnover.
Raiders saw that matchup again. They saw they took the advantage of it last time to get Cardonier more involved. They saw Reese was not guarding him, so they get it right back to him. And you're going to see the Raiders really emphasize that inside game with Reese on the bench right now.
So Reese goes out, and coming in will be Reed Plattfoot, the 6'5 sophomore. Elkert down low. Mullenauer working against Shappy. Roberts now going to try to drive baseline. He loses control as Shappy gets a hand on it and knocks it out of bounds.
Now you see who takes over here offensively is probably a Jace Mullenauer or Nolan Fark now. Being able to see the offensive identity without Reese on the floor now.
Inbounds underneath the basket for the Tigers. This game all knotted up at 20. Mullenauer to Roberts, trying to find Fark back, and he does. Fark going to dribble to the top of the key. Passes it off to Roberts, being guarded by the sophomore Cardonier. Jackson Center team, as we said, 7 seniors, 3 juniors, and 3 sophomores. For the Raiders, they have 4 seniors, 4 juniors, and 5 sophomores on their roster. Just the one sophomore we've seen so far in Braylon Cardonier, but another 4 on the bench. Jackson Center trying to spread out this Raider defense, and a 3 from the corner by Roberts is no good, but long rebound by Grant Elkert.
Wow, what a play there.
Mullenauer, tough shot, and Jace Mullenauer hits the jumper as he was floating to his left. Beautiful shot there by the senior.
And now the Tigers got the lead, so they can control the momentum and the pace of the game here a little better.
Cardonier trying to tie back up, and a little underhanded shot by him is no good. Tigers going to try to expand this 22-20 lead, and a move by Fark in the lane. Nolan Fark, and got another bucket, and Coach Cardonier wants a precision strip timeout. We're going to stay right here for this timeout and remind our viewers that NKTelco Sports and its sponsors are pleased to bring you replays of tonight's high school varsity basketball action on NKTelco Channel 3 or in HD on Channel 503. Replays of this game can be seen on Saturday, December 3rd at 4 p.m. and Monday, December 5th at 7 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand through YouTube, Facebook, and at nktelco.com/sports.
Man, see that run there by Jackson Center is huge. In a low-scoring game like this, 4 to 6 point runs bursts are huge. And Jackson Center doing that without Camden Reese on the floor. You know, I said who's going to take over. You see a couple points from Fark, a couple points from Mullenauer. That is huge. And that gives Jackson a 4-point lead with him on the bench getting a little rest. That is a huge momentum boost mentally for Jackson Center, who struggled to shoot the basketball that first half. They are 4 of 9 shooting after only shooting 25% in the first half. So nice job, nice halftime adjustments that you have seen the Jackson Center Tigers make.
And we're coming out of the precision strip timeout, and up on our First National Bank scoreboard, it is Jackson Center 24, Russia 20. And the Tigers outscoring the Raiders so far in this third quarter, 11-2.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, considering only 13 points in the first half.
Now in the ball game for the Raiders is Vince Borchers, who had a nice first half, along with Felix Francis. Shappy and Flippo came out during that precision strip timeout. Borchers working with it, stuck in the lane, gets it out to Monon. Monon going to drive in the lane. He gets stopped, going to put up the shot. That's off the rim, no good. Nice rebound by Jace Mullenauer. He battled for that, finds a wide open Reed Plattfoot, who tries to put that one down. And I don't know if you call that a dunk, but it's 2 points.
No, he laid it in, but nice job running the floor by Plattfoot and getting transition. And the Tigers just dominating this third quarter.
Outscoring Rouge 13-2. 3:21 left to go in this third quarter. Francis working in the lane, and Roberts blocks his shot. Francis gets it back, throws it up off the glass, no good. Braden Mono with the rebound. His shot's no good. Rebound by Lucas Hartle.
It has been a rough shooting night for the Raiders. And the rebounding total this quarter is 8-1, Jackson Center ahead.
They're just outworking Rouge this third quarter.
Pretty much, and that's how it's been. And the Raiders just got to have, if you're someone just to step up and make a play at this point. And Mullenauer to the line, and a 6-point lead feels more like a 15-point or a 15-point lead in a game as low scoring as this.
Well, Jace Mullenauer, one of the three returning starters on this Jackson Center team, along with Camden Reese and Nolan Fark. As you said in our pregame, this is a team that went 19-7 last year. Finished tied for second in the league with Fort Loramie at 8-4. Of course, Botkin's winning with a perfect 12-0 record. Russia tied for fourth last year at 7-5 with Russia and Anna.
And that's the first free throw the Tigers have missed all night on their 7th attempt. So they're shooting over 80% right now, which is pretty impressive here on opening night.
On the floor for the Tigers, along with Jason Mullenauer at the line, you got Lucas Heitkamp, Nolan Fark, Reed Plattfoot. And the Raiders bring the ball up the floor, now trailing by 7 points, 27-20. Under 3 minutes to go here in the third. Francis with the ball for the Raiders. Almost falls down and loses it. Russia rotating it around the perimeter. Cardagna with it on top. Russia running the, I call a 4-out. Cardagna down there on the blocks. The rest of the Russia players out in the perimeter, and Cardagna gets a little bit of contact from Reed Plattfoot. Going to try to work against Plattfoot. He loses the ball, but he gets fouled.
Yeah, tried to crash down there, and Fark got a little too much hands on there. But like I said, that's what the Raiders have done. They're trying to go to Braylon Cardagna with Camden Reese on the bench at this time. And it's been tough. The Tigers have just played phenomenal defense here tonight. They have not made anything for the Raiders easy right now. They've only got 2 points this quarter. Just phenomenal defense by the Jackson Center Tigers.
Russia brings back in Zane Shappy and Xavier Flippo, and for the Tigers, they bring in Bryson Roberts. Russia with the ball, trailing by 7. 2:30 to go in the third. Shappy gets around Hartle, throws it up, and shot's no good. Shappy did beat Hartle on the dribble, but nice help defense by the Tigers.
And the shooting woes continue for the Raiders this quarter.
Hartle gets in the lane, but can't get the layup to go. He gets it out to Roberts. Russia trying to trap, and a wide open three from the corner. Jace Mullenauer makes him pay.
And Jace Mullenauer wide open, a Raider defense that was scrambling that whole time. Great offensive ball movement by the Tigers, who've exploded this third quarter.
Mullenauer with 8 points in the quarter, 12 for the game. Now a double-digit lead for the Tigers. Shappy gets it, and he gets fouled by Bryson Roberts. For Bryson Roberts, that's going to be his third foul.
Pleading his case, but he did slap Shappy going up there, and good call there by the official on the baseline. Raiders, you don't want it maybe be foul shots, but you got to find something offensively to give you some sort of momentum.
So Shappy will be at the free throw line for a couple as players ready to check in at the scorers table. Jackson Center with a 10-point lead, 30-20. After Russia led this game at halftime, 18-13.
Be interested to see kind of how the Raiders, they brought pressure there early in the first half, and it worked. And they were able to force 7 Jackson Center turnovers in the first quarter, and they kind of went away from it. Be interested to see if they bring it back maybe, because it gave them some success at least at getting the ball, because now being down 9, with 1:49 to go in the third, it sounds like a huge deficit, and it is when you're playing a team like Jackson, so it'll be interesting to see if they resort back to that here soon.
So Shappy splits the pair. Russia gets the Jackson lead down to 9. Mullenauer, though, goes off the glass and takes that lead back to double digits. Jace Mullenauer, some kind of third quarter he's having.
He is having a nice night, and he's up in double figures now for the Tigers.
Mullenauer with 14, Russia with the ball. Just entering for the Raiders are Braylon Cardagna, Ross Fissinger back in the game. Fissinger with the ball, now gets it to Flippo. Flippo out to Shappy, down low on the block to Cardagna, working against Reed Plattfoot again. And they're trying to take advantage of that. Cardagna can't get the shot to go down. And rebound by the Tigers.
And the Raiders right now 1-9 from the field in the third quarter, 11% shooting.
Shappy almost with a steal. In the corner to Hartle. On top now to Lucas Heitkamp. Heitkamp working against Shappy, gets around him, kicks it back out to Plattfoot. Under a minute to play here in this third quarter. Jackson Center with an 11-point lead on this opening night of the high school boys basketball season. And a big game as Shappy thought maybe he got the steal, but they're going to whistle in for the foul.
That's a great foul there. And that's a wide open, and you're Jackson. Russia's struggling offensively. You don't give them anything easy right there. That's a great foul by Lucas Heitkamp. And you got to make them earn that 2 points now.
So Russia with the ball, 45 seconds to go here in the third. Actually trying to get this Jackson Center lead down to single digits as Quinter working against Elkert on the block, and he's going to get fouled by Grant Elkert. And Coach Godonier trying to communicate to his team that they have to work just as hard as Jackson Center. So far, just one field goal in this third quarter for the Raiders, along with a free throw. Only have 3 in the quarter.
Yeah, and Jackson Center is outworking the Raiders. It's just how it is right now. That it's been pretty evident, on the boards especially. Has been a huge advantage for the Tigers. It's an 11-1 advantage on the glass this third quarter. Usually rebounding in high school basketball is a little weird because, there's a lot of turnovers in high school basketball compared to college, but, Jackson Center definitely outworking the Raiders right now. And the Raiders are trying to seize a little momentum before the fourth quarter.
So Quinter with one more attempt from the line. He leads the Raiders right now in scoring with 8 points. And he'll make that 9 as he gets the free throw to go down. Russia whittles that lead down to 9 points, and with 30 seconds to go here in the third, Jackson going to try to get another bucket. Russia going to try to trap here. Fark does get trapped, but gets it out to Mullenauer. Good ball rotation by the Tigers. Hartle with it in the corner, down low to Platfoot on top to Fark. Mullenauer now with it. Russia again trying to trap. 18 seconds to go here in the third. Fark gets it over to Mullenauer. Nice job at passing by the Tigers as they're going to try to get a shot off here. And no opportunity for the Raiders to get the ball down. And Platfoot throws one up, and he's going to get fouled on his way to the basket with 3 points. So Reed Platfoot going to head to the free throw line. Yeah. Nice job there by the Tigers, working that clock down and making the Raiders chase them around the floor.
Good patience there by the Tigers, too. They know the Raiders got the possession arrow to start the fourth quarter as well. And trying to prevent a Raider 2-for-1 there.
A 6'5" sophomore, Reed Platfoot's first shot is up and good. So Platfoot had a field goal a little earlier in this quarter. He now has 3 for the game, and a substitution for the Tigers as Lucas Heitkamp will come to the game. Fark will get rested up for the fourth quarter. Russia also going to bring Zane Shapping to the ball game as Braylon Cardonier will head to the bench. Reed Platfoot with one more shot from the line, try to get that lead back to 11 points for the Tigers. 3 seconds to go here in the third. Russia going to have to get up the floor with the ball quickly as Platfoot does get that shot to go down, that free throw. Shappy with it, 1 second to go from half court. His shot's on the way, it looks good off the rim, and that will end our third quarter. So after 3, Jackson Center leads Russia 34-23 here on NKTelco Sports.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones.
We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
At Wilson Health, we're extending care beyond the walls of the hospital, with resources designed to keep you in charge of your health.
Our independence and connection to the community are unique in a world where big healthcare strives to act like corporations.
Our tools may be the same, but we are different.
We're neighbors, friends, and family who truly care about the people who live here.
We call it caring without limits, and it's just the beginning of a whole new Wilson Health.
After 3 quarters of play, it's Jackson Center 34, Russia 23. And Brandon, after Russia won those first 2 quarters, 9-6 and 9-7, Jackson Center won that third one, and convincingly.
Yeah, and just total domination by the Tigers. And Raiders shot 1 of 10. The Tigers dominate the glass, 11-1 in that third quarter. And that's with Camden Reese on the bench most that time. That was the most impressive part, is when he came out, you're thinking, oh, all right, maybe it's an up-hand advantage for the Raiders. They got a little more of the size advantage. But those guys just play hard, and that's why you see Scott Elkert year after year have continued success was third quarters like that, halftime adjustments right there. Very good coaching and very good discipline by his Jackson Center Tigers.
Well, the Tigers won that third quarter 21-5, in big part by Jace Mullenauer, who had 10 points in that quarter alone. Russia with the ball, trailing here by 11 points. They had an 18-13 halftime lead. Fissinger with the ball is going to drive up off the glass. That's no good. Rebound Tigers, and going to get a whistle and a foul. I think that's going to go on Fissinger. Perhaps a frustration foul after that missed layup.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it there. It's nothing coming easy for them. 1 of 11 shooting, and just, it's, the rim just, first nights of the year, Seem a little tough to hit.
Team fouls, if you're wondering how those are going for the Tigers, they have 5. For the Raiders, they have 4. And Rushy trying to apply that trap defense a little bit. Jackson Center just too good. As Fark's going to take a 3, that's going to rattle out. No good. Vince Borchers, nice hand in the face on that attempt. He now has the ball, gets it over to Braden Monin. He's going to take a 3, and Braden Monin drains that three-pointer. Just what the Raiders needed. Braden Monin, one of the best three-point shooter on this team, shot 37% from behind the arc last year.
Much needed for Rushy, and Braden Monin gets his first points of the year.
So Rushy now has that Jackson Center lead down to 8. Mullenauer with the ball, almost drug the pivot foot, but ball is going to get thrown across the timeline as it's waiting for it to go out of bounds. I don't know why Monin didn't pick that ball up.
Well, and I think he saw Elkert right there as well, so when he'd go up and pick it up that he'd be pressed right away. So I don't think that's a bad idea to let that roll. You get the ball closer to the basket now, and you can run a sideline out of bounds out of it, which are plays you have more likely to score on, which obviously the Raiders have struggled with so far in the second half, only scoring 8 points.
A couple substitutions. Jackson Center will bring Bryson Roberts back into the game. For Rushy, they bring Xavier Flippo into the game. Rushy set to inbound underneath their own basket here, and they are lined up all along the baseline in the corner. And Francis now with the ball gets it back to Monin. Monin looking down low to Flippo. Can't find him on top. Borchers has got it, gets it over to Felix Francis. Francis trying to drive against Platfoot, puts up the left-handed shot. That's no good. Another missed Raider attempt. Jackson with the ball now, Roberts with it. Tigers with an 8-point lead, 6:21 left to go in this ball game. Both teams trying to get a 1-0 record to start out this season. And what a big game this is as Mullenauer once again with the ball. That's blocked cleanly. A couple Jackson fans yelling about that, but Jace Mullenauer had 10 points in the third quarter. And a wide open 3 for Flippo, and he makes them pay as well. So Braden Monin with a 3, followed by Xavier Flippo with a 3.
Much needed swing there for the Raiders. They said you got to have some momentum, make a play. Flippo got beat there on that play, but came down and sunk a 3. That's a huge momentum swing for the Raiders.
Third three-pointer for the Raiders. Hayden Quinter had one in the first half. And Camden Reese with the ball. That's too hard off the glass. Tie-up and a one-handed rebound by Felix Francis. Raiders want to move the ball. Yeah. In the corner, Fissinger's going to take the 3. That's good! So Rushy with 3 3-pointers here in the third quarter. That's got the Raider fans on their feet.
And that's what you need, someone to step up and make a play. A couple defensive stands, 2 threes in a row, and the numbers starting to even themselves out for the poor shooting performance in the third quarter by the Raiders.
So Jackson Center with a 2-point lead, 34-32. 5 minutes left to go in this game. Rushy all of a sudden lighting it up from behind the arc. Fark almost picks up his dribble. And Mullenauer with it almost across the timeline. So Rushy got the momentum here right now as Mullenauer is going to do what he's been doing here all game and keep these Tigers in it. He drives to the basket and gets fouled, so Jason Mullenauer going to head to the free throw line.
They call that on the floor? Or I don't know if that was quite on the floor. I thought it might have been on the floor. They're giving him 2.
I think that was one of those, what do they call it, Euro steps, and on the...
Yeah, kind of surprised with that. They gave him the shot there. I don't quite know if he had it quite there, but the Tigers have shot excellent from the free throw line tonight.
Jace Mullenauer leading all scorers with 15 points, and substitutions as Fissinger and Francis go to the bench. On the floor for the Raiders, Hayden Quinter, Vince Borchers, Xavier Flippo, Braden Monin, and Braylon Cordonier. And the second attempt on the way for Mullenauer is no good. And Cordonier's going to get fouled on the rebound by Camden Reese. And for Camden Reese, that will be his 4th foul.
And that's huge. I think you take that over just getting the rebound, because now that puts 4 on Reese. Like we said, the Tiger depth is going to be tested, but they've answered the test here so far. And now he goes to he's going to stay in. But like I said, when he was on the now he's going to the bench. But when he was on the bench, that's when the Tigers had that run. So we know these guys can do that for Scott Elkert's squad. He trusts his guys here in the fourth quarter to try to finish this game off.
Both teams with 5 team fouls. 4:49 left to go here in the ball game. Tigers lead this one by 3, 35-32. Cordonier with the ball on top to Braden Mon, and in the corner to Hayden Quinter. Quinter trying to look down low to Flippo. Flippo trying to get big against Bryson Roberts. Those two wrestling down low. And Borchers with it now in the lane. He's going to turn around, try to throw up the left-hander. That's blocked, I believe, by Mullenauer, and we're going to get a whistle and a precision strip timeout to Coach Spencer Cordonier. We'll stay right here as, again, the Tigers are leading the Raiders 35-32. And in this rubber match between these two programs, again, Jackson Center winning the freshman game, Marushi winning the junior varsity game. We've got a real good one here in this varsity contest.
And it's come in spurts. You know, that whole third quarter is dominated by the Tigers. I mean, it was a lot of ground for the Raiders to make up, but they hit a few shots. They hit a couple threes, 3 threes in this fourth quarter. It's absolutely critical for the Raiders to get them back in this ball game. They've hit more 3-point field goals than they have 2-point field goals. Reese with 4 fouls now, the momentum on the Raiders' side. But like we said, this is the group out here didn't have Camden Reese and went on that run in the third quarter. You're going to see this offense run through probably Jace Mullenauer and Nolan Fark, even Mullenauer on the floor now. Like I said, the depth of the Tigers being tested.
So Braden Mon is set to inbound underneath the Raider basket. Gets it on top to Cordonier. That's almost knocked out of, that's Flippo with the ball, excuse me. And he will retrieve it and give it to Vince Borchers, set to run this Raiders offense. 4:15 to go here in the ball game. Flippo with it now. Try to get a screen from Cordonier, gets it as he rolls to the basket. And Borchers gets it down low, and Roberts is going to take the bump, and Cordonier goes up and puts it off the glass. Jackson Center fans wanting an offensive foul there.
You got to admire it from Roberts, just not called. Some refs would call it, some refs don't. But you got to admire it from Roberts.
And Marushi now outscoring Jackson Center 11-1 here in the fourth after Jackson did a similar thing to Marushi in the third quarter. And nice rebound by Cordonier, the sophomore. Marushi trailing by just 1, trying to take the lead.
Boy, what a play by Roberts.
Bryson Roberts hustling to that ball. It's going to get knocked, and Jackson Center's going to get it. Vince Borchers thought that Jackson touched it.
They're going to talk about it right up here. It's risky. We're gonna have a discussion. That was a close play. It could have gone either way. They're going to overturn it here, I think.
So Rushi's going to get the ball back after the discussion by the officials. Good of them to talk about that. As a couple substitutions for Jackson Center as Camden Reese comes back into the ball game. Well, we got all kinds of substitutions. So Mullenauer, Roberts, Camden Reese, Reed Platfoot, and Nolan Fark on the floor for the Jackson Center. For Rushi, it looks like we're going to get another precision strip timeout. And this will be a full one, so we'll take it with them. Again, Jackson Center leads Rushi 35-34 here on NKTelco Sports.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
Kemmler Orthopedic Center is focused on a personalized, caring approach to treat all aspects of orthopedics, including total joint replacement, shoulder reconstruction, stem cell injections, and more. Dr. James Kemmler and Jed Cooney, certified PA, are dedicated to providing the best orthopedic care in the Grand Lake region. Kemmler Orthopedic Center has offices located in Salina and Van Wert, along with extended evening hours. To schedule an appointment, call our office at 419-586-5760.
Brandon, I can only hope that the game tomorrow between the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Michigan Wolverines is as good as this game we're seeing here tonight.
Yeah, it's been a great one here so far tomorrow, and you tune in at noon tomorrow, and it's going to be football, and then we're right back here in the basketball gym, another game tomorrow night. This has been, kind of like, if you're a sports fan, it's kind of been heaven, these past few days with a bunch of the high school football going on, with all this high school basketball, college basketball, all these tournaments, the Flyers, the Musketeers, the Buckeyes playing. The game is this weekend, and this great high school basketball game going on right now, this battle, this classic battle. It seems like these two schools have just played so many great games in this gymnasium here in the Clare C.
And right open underneath the basket is Hayden Quinter on the assist from Vince Borchers. So Russia regains the lead, 36-35, 3:13 to play here in the ball game.
I like the variation off that. He goes back door, and Hayden Quinter was wide open on that set.
Russia now outscoring Jackson Center 13-1 here in the fourth quarter.
Pretty remarkable after that third quarter. This is a great game.
In the corner with it is Roberts. He's going to drive, pull up, trying to get it down low to Camden Reese, working against Flippo. Back out to Roberts. He's going to take a three off the iron. No good. Rebound Flippo. Raiders have the ball.
Boy, you know your Jackson Center, you're due to hit one here. They've missed their last 7 shots. Interesting, the Raiders have that lead back. What are they going to do offensively now?
Raiders with the ball, being patient with it. Borchers now with it. And that point guard role that we usually see Zane Shappy, as we said, Vince Borchers, really no varsity experience coming into this ball game and looking like he's been here for years. Flippo with it now down the paint, working against Reed Platfoot. Throws up the hook shot. Russia getting everything to go down right now.
Boy, and like I said, Craig, they could not hit anything now. They're balancing out the numbers this fourth quarter and are red hot from the field.
We're at the 2-minute warning as Russia now with a 3-point lead, 38-35. Coach Scott Elkert directing the offense of the Tigers as Nolan Fark now with it, pulls up, and a tough jumper from Nolan Fark. How about that?
And that's where I was going to say, the numbers are going to balance out. The Tigers have gone cold there. Nice shot by Nolan Fark.
The 6'2 senior coming up big for the Tigers. Their first field goal of this quarter. They trail by just 1 point. Russia with the ball, 1.5 minutes to go.
What a great game here to start. This is Shelby County basketball at its best, Craig.
The sophomore Borchers with the ball. Gets it out to Flippo. Russia now spreading out this Jackson Center defense. And Russia just has to be careful not to turn this ball over.
Yeah, that's the thing. Without a shot clock in high school basketball, they're looking for a one-on-one matchup to drive on the inside, and we're just going to take a timeout here.
Yeah, Coach Spencer Cardonier wants another precision strip timeout. We're going to remind our viewers out there that the keys to the game in our pregame were sponsored by Keyhole Pizza. The scoreboard sponsor is First National Bank. Again, timeout sponsored by Precision Strip. The starting lineup you heard earlier was by Emerson Copeland, and that Russia Live viewer sponsor you see on your screen is Jewelry Barn. Brandon and I will, at the end of the game, pick our NKTelco player of the game, so you want to stick around for that. We will wrap up this game with your end of the game stats, and again, that player of the game.
And now the kind of the decision is for the Raiders. You said without a shot clock in high school basketball, it's decision time. How much do you spread the Tigers out? Try to get the ball on the inside. They've had more success getting it on the inside. Reese has got 4 fouls. I don't know even in that situation if you go at him if you're the Raiders, but you need a bucket. Obviously, 3-point cushion or a 4-point cushion sounds a lot better than a 1-point cushion. So we'll see. You know, the Tigers are at 6 fouls right now. The Raiders are at 5. So, you know, the next foul that the Tigers get, the Raiders go to the line.
All 5 of these players out here, Brandon, you talked about in the pregame about the state baseball championship. All 5 of these guys on that state baseball team plays a big part in experience.
Yeah, in winning tight ball games.
So Flippo does get the ball, and at 4.5 seconds in the corner to Mon. And a minute to play here in the ball game. Russia a 1-point lead on top to Flippo, being guarded by Reed Platfoot. Looking at his coach, Cordonder, to see what he wants to call. Quinter now with it, getting harassed by Nolan Fark. Fark's going to pick up his 4th foul.
It's interesting that they did it that early, especially with Fark being a better player, being one of the Jackson's better players and picking up his 4th. It's a risk reward here. You know, if Quinter misses this shot, it looks genius on the part of Scott Elkert. But here's the thing. Here's where the pressure comes down to early on in the season on Hayden Quinter.
Hayden Quinter at the line for the 1-on-1, and that is short.
And it pays off there for Coach Scott Elkert.
So 48 seconds to go in regulation. Jackson Center with the ball, trailing by 1. Nolan Fark now has it, working against the sophomore Borchers. Puts another tough shot up off the front of the rim. Ball knocked around, picking it up will be Borchers. He's going to get fouled instantly by Bryson Roberts. Nolan Fark hit that shot earlier. Yeah. This time he misses it.
And that's the thing. You could have gone a couple different ways, but I'm kind of interested in how early Jackson's going here. Try and get that ball maybe down the inside or to get the elbow shots there for Fark. I like that call, I guess, to go to Fark. But I'm interested in how early they did it. the Raiders missing the foul line, I guess it's the 1-and-1. So if they miss that front end or if they go 1 of 2, they get the ball right back.
So Vince Borchers, who didn't have a single point in his varsity career until tonight, had a field goal in the first quarter, now at the line for the 1-and-1, and he gets the shot to go down. How big is that by the sophomore?
It's huge, but this one's even bigger to try to stretch the floor so that the Raiders really have to try to only guard the perimeter. It changes the dynamic of this game if he can hit this shot right here.
So Borchers' second one on the way is going to rattle around and drop in. So Vince Borchers with 2 big free throws. 30 seconds to go here for the Tigers. They trail by 3.
And here you see, do the Tigers go for 2 or do they go for 1? Looks like they're going for 2.
Mullenauer high off the glass. That ball was down and back out. Trying to save it was Shappy and throwing it up off the glass is Mullenauer again. Jace Mullenauer is so scrappy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you're the Raiders there, corral that rebound. Shappy just threw it back in towards the basket. Even if you throw it in, throw it down toward the other end of the court in that situation. And the Raiders could have held there or made it a wild scramble for the basketball. But now Mullenauer's got 2 huge free throws here, and Jackson shot very well from the charity stripe tonight as a team.
So Jace Mullenauer, who leads all scorers with 15 points, is at the free throw line. His first shot is on the way, and he buries it.
And now the Raiders still in the 1-and-1 bonus. So if they get that basketball, it's still a 1-and-1 opportunity. So this is a huge free throw here for Mullenauer, who's had a fantastic game here tonight.
A couple substitutions. Reed Platfoot out for Grant Elkert, and also coming in as Mullenauer hits the second one. Coming out is Zane Shappy for Hayden Quinter. So we're going to get a full timeout. We're going to take it with them here. This is a great ball game as Russia leads Jackson Center 40-39 on NKTelco Sports.
We are here and here and here.
Minster Bank is everywhere, providing every banking service that you need to keep your financial life in order. Whether you are on the go or stopping by one of our branches, Minster Bank is here for you. We proudly support the communities where you live. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Unpack your potential with a career at Pratt Industries. Working at Pratt Industries is more than a job. It's a sustainable career.
Pratt Industries to me is a job. It's my career. It's the way I put food on my table, but I love what I do.
We offer competitive pay, excellent benefits, and opportunities for career advancement. To apply, visit careers.prattindustries.com.
So 40-39 here on this opening night of the Shelby County Athletic League and high school basketball around Ohio. Russia leading Jackson Center, and Russia with the ball up 1. What do you do if you're Coach Spencer Cordonier?
I think it's pretty simple. Jackson, you got to get the ball in clean. Second off, you free open your best foul shooter out of your 5, whoever Coach Cordonier trusts the most, because Jackson Center, I think, is going to foul pretty quick because the Raiders are still in the 1-and-bonus opportunity. So if they miss the front end of that, 1-and-1, Jackson Center's got the ball and can take a lead with a 2-point field goal here late. So you got to get it in. You still have 1 timeout if you're the Raiders. The Tigers have 3 of them. So the Raiders still have 1 timeout to use here if they get in trouble. So
at what point do you foul if you're Jackson Center?
I think you have them throw it in and then you foul right away. I don't think there's any waiting here because of how the Raiders have shot from the free throw line, and they've if it's only a 2-point lead, it's a lot different than a 3-point lead, I guess, for the Jackson Center Tigers.
So Filippo can run the baseline with the ball here. Russia just 1 timeout left. 19.6 to go here in regulation. Russia with a 1-point lead. Jackson Center, of course, applying a full court press here.
Yes, I think it'll be Borchers or Monin who the Raiders are probably going to get the ball to here. Well, maybe Braylon Cordonier. You're going to see him foul right away. Maybe. Nope.
Borchers with the ball, 17 to go, and he's going to get up and off the glass. Fork tried to steal that ball. Cordonier got around him, Borchers, and got the layup, and we're going to get a timeout by Jackson Center. How about that?
I think Scott Elkert's wanting a travel, and he may have a case there that Borchers got an extra step. Now we'll have to look at the replay here, and he might have an argument that Vince Borchers got away with a step there late. But nonetheless, it was a great release, great execution of the inbound for the Raiders. It could have been that or a bump foul called. So I think that's the reason why Scott Elkert's upset right there. But now if you're the Raiders, the thing is you don't have any fouls to give, so you're not going to foul them. But you got to defend that three-point line pretty tightly now. And if you're Jackson, it's 12 seconds, so you need to go with about 7 seconds to shoot to get a chance at an offensive rebound and maximize your opportunities to get at least maybe 2 shots up there if you get an offensive rebound.
Yep. Cordonier was standing in front of the scorer's table on that inbounds, and he ran towards the ball, got the inbounds from Flippo in front of the Jackson Center bench, and found Borchers streaking towards the Russia basket. And as Borchers got that ball, Fark went in there, put a hand on that ball, and it appeared that maybe Borchers got a step. They got a little tied up, but Borchers got the layup and gave Russia the 3-point lead. I think Russia took that timeout, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, and that surprises me because clock would still keep running. And Jackson Center has 3 timeouts. Now the Raiders are out of timeouts. If the Tigers don't get the ball, if the Tigers would hit a 3, the Raiders don't have a timeout if they want to get the ball in, which is an interesting call there. The Raiders just want to set up their defense here maybe.
12 seconds to go. Jackson Center down 3 with the ball now is Jace Mullenauer, and we're going to get a Raider foul. That one is going to go, looks like maybe on Braylon Cordonier.
Yeah, and that's the interesting call there by the Raiders, that they foul that quickly. You know, Mullenhauer has a 1-and-1, and he's talking to Coach Elker, what do you want me to do? And I would say you're a better free throw shooter. Trust him to make the first one and then try to miss the second one. You know, Camden Reitz has got to be careful. He's inside that box. He's got 4 fouls as well.
So Mullenauer at the line for the 1-and-1 with 6 seconds to go, and he does indeed hit the first. A substitution for the Tigers as Camden Reitz back in the ballgame. Lucas Hartle on the bench. Mullenauer now at the line for the second shot. They trail by 2, and we're going to get a precision strip timeout by Coach Scott Elko. We'll stay right here. And again, so you expect Jace Mullenauer to miss this shot?
Yeah, I think you do. I would guess it's 6 seconds because that's the thing. You know, if you make it, I guess the time doesn't continue to run, but you know, it's tough. The Raiders don't have any timeouts. That's why I was interested to see them make that timeout call here. And that's the thing. I think he'll miss it. You can argue for either or, but I'm going to guess a miss. And to try to get that ball back, Camden Reitz has got to be careful down there as well because he's got those 4 fouls. And if this game would go to overtime, it would be a huge blow for the Tigers to not have him.
Well, Camden Reitz has 4 fouls, as does Bryson Roberts, as does Nolan Fark.
Yeah, and like I said, it's testing the Jackson depth. They've played a very good ball game tonight. Like I said, just a bit ago, it was an 11-point Jackson lead. So it's been a tale of 2 quarters this second half.
Only player with Russia with 4 fouls right now is Braylon Cordonier. So all 3 of those Tigers with 4 fouls on the floor. Mullenauer, again, at the line for the second of a 1-and-1. Jackson trailing by 2. Mullenauer hits the shot, so they now trail by 1. 6 seconds left. Russia gets the ball in bounds, and Braden Monning gets immediately fouled. So it looked like Mullenauer was trying to make that bucket all the way.
Yeah, and I guess the more and more I think of it now, I see Jackson Center's philosophy. I guess the more and more I kind of think of it, the more I was wrong. But Mullenauer hits those 2 free throws. You're anticipating a possible Raider miss. You still got 2 timeouts if you're Jackson because the Raiders split the pair from the line here. You have a chance to win the ball game, and I would say Jackson Center just go for it and try to win the ball game with the way you're in foul trouble. If the Raiders split the pair from the line.
Braden Monning, Russia's best free throw shooter, as he misses that one, and her ball is knocked around. Reese picks it up. 2 seconds to go. Mullenauer with it at the horn, off the back of the iron, and no good. So Russia is going to win this ball game 42-41 as the student section comes out on the floor. And what an opening night here in the Shelby County Athletic League.
And I don't think what I realized there is the board was a little off there for a second. I thought the Raiders had a double bonus. It was a 1-and-1 opportunity, so that made sense why they didn't miss the foul shot. They went off the rebound and had a great look at the horn. It doesn't get much better than that. Mullenauer just didn't hit the shot. And guess what? It was a 42-41 classic here in the Claire C. DeVoe Gymnasium. These teams have played a bunch of classic games, and that snaps a long Raider drought, losing to the Jackson Center Tigers, their first win against Jackson Center since 2019.
Wow. All right, well, I'll let you tally up these game stats while we thank all of our sponsors here that allowed us to bring this game to you here tonight, and they are Keyhole Pizza, First National Bank, Precision Strip, Emerson Copeland, Carriage Works, Grand Lake Health, Kogi Plumbing and Heating, Lincoln Electric Automation, Minster Bank, Pratt Industries, New Knoxville Supply, Wagner's IGA, Wilson Health, Winners Meats, Jewelry Barn, and NKTelco. Those sponsors, NKTelco, they're going to have our player of the game coming up, so stick around for that. The keys of the game, they were sponsored by Keyhole Pizza. Scoreboard sponsor is First National Bank. Our timeout sponsors were all coming by Precision Strip. And then the starting lineup from Emerson Copeland. Russia Live viewer sponsor was Jewelry Barn. And our additional sponsors, we again want to tell you, are Burke Petroleum, Chiltex LLC, Cy Sweeterman Inc., Dickman Supply, Hometown Opportunity, Hulsman Automotive, Park National Bank, Securcom, and St. Henry Bank. So again, Russia picks up the 42-41 win, and a neat scene right now up in the Raider student section, or excuse me, the stands, as the team goes up there to hug the wife of Coach Dave Borchers, who passed away unexpectedly recently, and had a neat pregame ceremony where both communities went out on the floor, teams went out on the floor and prayed. Again, they're all up in the stands right now with the wife of the coach and team taking a picture, and just a neat scene here in the Claire C. Naveau Gymnasium. So, Brandon, let's talk about this game a little bit more. And as far as the end of the game stats go, what do you have?
I'm taking a look here for the Jackson Center Tigers. They shot 10 of 36 in the field, 3 of 13 from the three-point line, 29 rebounds, 15 turnovers, 12 of 15 from the charity stripe here tonight, 80%. The Raiders on the flip side, they were 16 of 39 from the three-point line. They were 4 of 9. They, as a team, had 17 rebounds and 9 turnovers. They were 7 and 9 from the line. The individual scoring, taking a look, I've lost kind of some track during the game. I had Xavier Flippo with 6, 9, 11, 6 for Braylon Cordonier, 4 for Vince Borchers, 3 for Braden Monin, 7, 9, 11 for Hayden Quinter, 3 for Ross Ischinger, 1 for Zane Shappy. On the flip side for the Jackson Center Tigers, they're led by Jace Mullenauer with 19 points. Nolan Fark had 9, 2 for Lucas Hartle, 6 for Lucas Heitkamp, 3 for Bryson Roberts, 2 for Reed Plattfoot, 2 for Camden Reeks. The scoring by quarters, 9-6 Raiders after one, 18-13 Raiders at halftime. After the third quarter, it flipped on its head. Jackson Center with a 34-23 lead, but the Raiders come back and get a 42-41 victory here, a thriller on opening night. These are probably going to be possibly, unless maybe I think Fort Laramie or Botkins or Ann have anything to say about it, the top 2 teams in the Shelby County League. They play again in January. Should be a different game with Kellen Reichert back, but these 2 teams, don't be surprised they're the top 2 teams in the league and the top 2 teams at the Pickwa Sectional coming up in February.
All right, well, what a performance here again by both these teams. And Brandon, let's pick our NKTelco player of the game. And who you got?
A lot of guys you can go with. I'm going to go with Xavier Flippo here tonight. Just a lot of kind of separate guys you can pick from. This is a very balanced Raider team, so I think that player of the game is going to get spread out throughout the course of the year. But Xavier Flippo had probably the most complete game, I think, from any of the Raiders here tonight. So congratulations to Xavier, NKTelco player of the game. Raiders back here tomorrow night against St. Henry. Jackson Center will be back against Anna next Friday. I'll be on the call along with Jeff Hinchin for that game in the Habitat of the Cat. So Tigers got a week to kind of figure some things out. They looked very good tonight without Kellen Reichert. This is, that was a very good well-coached game by Scott Elker. There's a lot of promise on that Jackson Center team, especially when Kellen Reichert comes back. And they just lost, to a very good Raider team, just couldn't hold the lead in the fourth quarter. But 2 very good teams going at it here tonight. The Raiders get a huge win in Shelby County League play as they have their eyes set on the Shelby County League title.
All right, well, that'll officially wrap it up for us here on this opening night of high school basketball across Ohio. For a final time, Russia defeats Jackson Center 42-41. We hope you enjoyed NKTelco's broadcast of high school boys basketball. Thanks for tuning in. And from the Claire C. Naveau Gymnasium, I'm Craig Fissinger. For my broadcast partner, Brandon Coverman, saying good night, everyone.